One is, there's two types of competition, I think. The one is between the bank-centric model, and then there's lots of people who are trying to build cross-border payments outside of the bank system. And that's an interesting one to watch, and there you could see a shift in paradigm. I do think that there will, going forward, be a crucial role for banks. There's a reason we have banks, there's a reason they're regulated and all of that. So I don't see the role of banks going away if they innovate fast enough, which they, I think, appear to be doing. So it's the banks to lose. So from that perspective, we are on the same boat of having a bank-centric model. In terms of one of the exciting things about the new GPI platform is the fact that it is extremely interoperable and open, and we've always had links to other networks. We're going to enhance that with API access. We are announcing, I think later today, a proof of concept with R3, an R3 blockchain on trade, where you can initiate a payment on the trade platform and then it goes into GPI. So we're exploring interconnectivity with a lot of things, and banks have always been about that interconnectivity. Right now, you can, I mean, to some extent, you can already do that. If Santander is on SWIFT as well, so they can act as the peering point between the two networks. So the last thing we want to be is a closed system. I think the world belongs to open systems going forward, and that's I mean, another interesting example is. In a lot of countries, we now see real-time systems emerging, domestic real-time systems, several of them on the SWIFT network. In Australia, they went live last year with the Australia new payment platform, real-time, domestic, that runs on our rails in Australia. And we are now working with 4 countries in Southeast Asia to interconnect the real-time systems that they have there, using GPI as the glue between them. So essentially, you go from country to country, leveraging both the domestic real-time rails and the cross-border GPI. The other thing that excites me about it is I firmly expect that within a few years, GPI will be de facto real-time cross-border. And the way that works is because now for the first time you can track your payments, we already see that banks are starting to see where the bottlenecks are. So if it doesn't arrive within minutes, they can see what's holding it up. You can also see which banks are still on batch processing and which banks have already, most of the banks have moved to real-time process. So this transparency puts more pressure on the banks to improve their speed. And by the way, it's always good to keep in mind that SWIFT has never been the bottleneck. We run a telco, a network that transmits the messages in seconds. It's also good to keep in mind that cross-border payments, the $10 that you mentioned, are part of that thing. A SWIFT message costs 3 cents at the end of the day. So we've always provided a speedy and cheap connectivity. I think what it is about now is to enable the banks to leverage that and really make it work in seconds as well. And I am completely convinced that in a few years you will have the experience over SWIFT and the banking system to be able to do it end-to-end in a matter of seconds. We will see that evolution thanks to the transparency that the platform provides.
Gottfried, why not use Ripple's technology to do that?
Because, well, we'll have to see. I think what we are seeing, we had a long discussion about blockchain versus API. What we could see is the API technology, which is at the heart of what we do with GPI, is here today, and banks are able to integrate it. Blockchain, we think, is further out. We've run a large proof of concept with blockchain to several proof of concepts, I should say. One of them to put it inside the reconciliation between banks, Nostro Vostro, the account reconciliation between banks. We had 40 banks participate in that. It was the largest hyperledger implementation outside IBM, really big. 500 bilateral relationships on the blockchain, 500 individual blockchains being run. When we evaluated it with banks, they said, yeah, it works as a proof of concept, but it's not clear to us that it's that much better than what we have today, given the migration cost. And a lot of it is about the banks themselves who have to migrate and be interoperating with that new platform. We find that for them it's much easier to integrate with APIs and what we're now offering them with GPI than it is with blockchain. So that has been our experience so far, and our 10,000 banks worldwide play a big role in that one.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.